Hi guys, welcome back to another video. As usual, I've forgotten to shoot an intro or an exit most of the time I do in videos because I'm just really shooting what I'm doing with you. But in this video, we're doing a bit of spring cleaning in winter, I suppose. We're just trying to get the farm organised. We've got new laying flock coming soon, so I want to get my kind of all my tidying up done in this, and then next week. So next video, you'll probably see me. We'll be getting our big polytunnel ready to get a second flock of layers in, our new birds. We generally keep 2 flocks for about a month and then we retire the older flock. So let's get into the video. Okay, so this is my flock that I'll be retiring in about a month, and these birds are still quite young. They're only coming a year old, and they're actually still performing really high. They're almost 80, they're about 89% lay rate, and they're doing really well. And it's a good opportunity for anyone thinking about getting into layers. If you're completely starting and you want to get maybe some experience under your belt, getting some hens like these would be a good idea. Maybe taking 30, 50 of these hens and starting there. There's a couple of things. One, these hens are older hens, so they're not as sensitive to shock or change, and they're already laying and they're used to the system that you're potentially thinking about adapting. And then if you're figuring, is there a market around me for them? Well, starting with 30 or 50 hens gives you a bit of time to build a bit of a market, to feel the thing out and also learn about the birds. And if you took these on now, that would mean by come the summertime, then you'll have a lot of experience and knowledge to be willing to commit to setting up a decent size, maybe doing your own 2, 3, 400 birds. And so anyone that's interested, that might be interested in taking some of these birds, I'm going to be rehoming them because there's still quite a good bit of lay in them. It's just for me, it doesn't work. They'll start to petter out towards the end of the summer, and I really don't want to change my flock out then. So I'll be rehoming these. So if anybody's interested, send me a message. Okay, today is the day I'm going to tackle this mess, try and get it organized. Even wires hanging everywhere. Oh, we're a tight operation here. Get that sorted. Ugh. So yeah, got to get stuck into it. I've been kind of avoiding this, but got to get it done. So the first thing I done was I put in this, if you want to call it a mezzanine for a fancy word, just some ply. These are actually the ply from making my boxes for storing stuff in the freezer. I will need them for, well, another 7, 8, 9 months. So I'm going to store them here. I've got some more bits of ply around the farm. So I'm going to put my ply up here first. And what this does is it's going to utilize the space more. Rather than just having one, I want to put my poultry nets, my sheep nets, I'll probably put up all my posts. So it just utilizes all this area up here. And then I can put my bigger stuff. I've got barrels, wheelie bins, water reels. They can all go in underneath here. And so this is my kind of starting point. Kind of hard to know where to start here, but this is where I'm starting. 10 poultry nets, 50-meter net. That's them all. They're nicely wrapped up and they're all up there whenever I need them. And my plan is I've got 6 sets of 50-meter sheep netting. I want to put them in the next section. They won't take up that much space, so I might leave room that I can actually, I've got 4 peg nets as well down at my dad's farm. They're much shorter. I might put them on top of the sheep netting, which will go up here. So that's the next one. I just got to put up 2 sticks to keep them over to one side, and then everything's nice and separated, so I know if I need my poultry nets, I'm on this side. Yes, making a racket. You looking for a stone? Hey. Now I've got my water lines. There's over 1/2 kilometre of water lines here, and waterers and anything associated with water in here. Push the stanchion in there too, and I just put in the stick here too, just to add a bit of strength so I can put a bit more weight up on top. And now I'm just going through all my brooder stuff, my waters, my feeders, my lights. I'm going to put them in this wheelie bin so they're nice and safe, nothing can damage them. So I'm just going through them all, giving them a quick clean, making sure everything's there, all my cables, and get all that away, and then I can tuck my wheelie bin in underneath there. I'm getting well through it. So I've got my 2 wheelie bins. This has got all my brooder gear, poultry feeders, drinkers. The heat lights are in here, plus other miscellaneous stuff. I've got some jockey wheels, some cables, I've got some cement that I've got there, this basically chemical-free cleaning agent that we use for spraying down our eggmobile with, to try if we have. I used to have issues with mites in my when my eggmobiles were made out of a lot of timber, and that was really good for that. And I've got giving away the land of my poultry crates at the minute, but I've got 15 poultry crates, so they'll go right up to the roof here. So I've still got all this space here to use. I've got some wire and stuff there. I'll probably maybe leave in that corner. That's a bandsaw. Needs to go into the. It's a bit too there's too much moisture in here for it. I see it's starting to rust a bit, the plate, so I need to oil it down and put it in the grain store because it's really dry in the grain store. That's all for the bin. And here's miscellaneous stuff. This is all either there's bio netting, there's fleece, there's this landscape fabric there, or not landscape fabric, it's drainage fabric. I'm going to roll all that up nice, and I've got some one breaks and stuff, so I'm going to put another partition here, put all the fabrics and everything in there. The cardboard, I'm going to use that in the spring, so I'll probably pile that over here on the end, and that'll get used in the spring. That'll clear up this whole area. This stuff here is going to the slaughtery. Got to sort through this. Then my plan is I want to clear this whole area along here because I've got timber in the polytunnel and some timber outside I want to put sitting there. Slowly getting there. It's very boring, but kind of makes me happy to getting through it. It was actually way worse than it looked. Just getting through it all, but it's good to do. This is kind of me, I don't have any further plans before this point. Sorry, I get the light out of here. Before this point, I was like moving stuff from one place to another because it's like different areas of the farm weren't finished, or I didn't have them the way I want them. Now I've got pretty much everything the way I want it. I want this to be kind of my storage. You know, I've got places to put away all my tools. I've got, you know, so I've got stuff in the farm. It's a really nice feeling. So everything's kind of getting its forever home, and I don't have to move it around as much. So hopefully I'll never have to do a big clean like this again. I probably will at some point. I'm just kidding myself really, but this should keep it straight for a long time. I know where everything is. Everything down here, even though it looks like it's all jammed away, it's all kind of seasonal stuff that's all together. That's all my water equipment there, that's all my fencing there, so it'll generally, most of it will be coming out at the one time anyway, so it's kind of all right that it's really jammed in there, but it just gives me more free space. Once I get through the rest of this, I need to go in and do the workshop and the grain store and the egg packery, and just any stuff that's in there that I think should be in here, I'll take it down, store it away, get a bit of organization on the place. It's starting to look a little bit cooler now. I've got my fleeces, bionetting, one brick, all that kind of, some plastic or tarpaulins, any of that kind of materials in that bag there. There's some of my cardboard up here, and I've got, this is some pre-light peat moss, some slow releasing NPK fertilizer, kind of miscellaneous stuff, my cement. I'm going to put all my poultry baskets up here, my poultry crates. Probably going to leave the wire there, and I've got some more of these crates with various stuff I might put here. So now I want to clear this out. I want to put my kayaks in here. They're in the slaughtery at the minute, so get rid of this, and then I got to go through this sheet material and get a home for that cardboard, and then bring in all my timber that's on the farm. I'm going to put right here. When you're storing wood, it's really important that you create a really level place to store it so that it stays straight and through. If you store it on uneven ground, the wood is eventually going to just take the shape of the ground. So I know that the foundation for this here is level all the way along, and then I've just put in level bearers here, and I've just taken a bit of time to make sure they're level, and so now I can store my sticks here for as long as I want, and they'll stay nice and straight for whenever I need them. Getting my timbers all in nice. We've just got a few more bits to stick in, and we'll put all our sheet material up nice against the corner. And yeah, really happy. Got a lot of usable space, and I know where everything is. That's the main thing. So job well done. Just down to my dad's farm here. He buys hay by the trailer load, and I just take the bale whenever I want it. So I'm just picking up a bale here, going to put it on the trailer. And we're back at the farm, and these bales are pretty big. The last bale I got was actually bigger than these. I want to put it in here, and normally I would back the trailer and try and manhandle it in, but you know what, I'm just going to cut it open and carry it in a few sections. Makes more sense, right? Interestingly, I looked at this morning and I didn't really notice it. I was just moving the fence. Then I was walking past and I was saying, what's going on here? The ground's all different. And then I realised I parked the shelter here. But now it's down here. The wind actually, I'm trying to figure out, there's dirt. It's not really damaged, but there's dirt in the corner there. I think it's done a complete flip round to get over there. I can't really see marks in the ground. There's no way, because it was sitting exactly at that angle up here. There's no way the wind blew it and blew it. It must have literally done a somersault and back round. So I just need to watch that. I didn't think that would happen. The goats are obviously inside in the rougher weather, but and I had it sitting pretty low. So if I want to go out, I want to keep this out all winter, I might need to get some sandbags or something and drape them over the back axle as well, down low, because it doesn't really have any weight down low. So blowing, you know, it's pretty predictable that it'll eventually blow over. It's got a wide centre of gravity, but I should probably grab a few sandbags and just drape them over the axle in windy weather. You can see here where this was obviously dug into the ground. So it must have done a flippy McFlip. I'm actually surprised how it stayed in perfect condition. Barely even damaged the tin. Just move the goats on to some nice fresh pasture. Sun in your eyes. Turn around here. Today is the 13th of January and we're grazing nice long grass. Let's say you get healthy animals through the winter time, so you don't need to medicate, vaccinate. Now this grass is obviously, that's grown a bit over the winter, but it's not going to be as full of the goodness of fresh spring summer grass. But fresh grass is definitely better than hay. It's going to have more nutrients in it, albeit not as much as fresh spring summer grass, but it's also way more efficient to let the animal harvest rather than using oil to collect it and store it. I'm really interested in the some of the work that's been done in the States with the likes of Greg Judy and these guys that are trying to prolong their winter forage as long as possible. It makes sense to me. It's a little bit more difficult here in our wet climate due to it isn't really we actually have, it's easy because our grass actually keeps growing in the winter time. Our more problematic for us is that the soil condition gets too wet and lots of plugging in that, so that's very much dependent on your context and the type of ground you have as well. But I think there's definitely mileage in it here in Ireland anyway. It's crazy how the weather affects my mood anyway. I mean, we've had a pretty rough few weeks of weather, just real wet, some really strong winds and very depressing, and today is the first real good day. And I mean, like, I just look at everything I see the positives in it, I see the potential. Whereas this last week or so when I was looking at stuff, I was seeing the problems, I was seeing, you know, the negative sides of it. So it's amazing how some good weather can help change your perspective. Had a good frost last night and our wee pond's gotten frozen over. Really happy with how the pond's doing. We obviously got to wait for spring to come for growth. This is all still pretty wet, but we'll get it sown up and get it sorted in springtime. Going good though. We got a little bit of snow last night and our pond is frozen over, but it's only given another day or two cold weather and then it's given it to warm up. We got a little bit of snow. Everything's got a little dusting. It's good. Our winter's been a little wet, but that's normal here. But what's really good about this winter is it's actually been properly cold. Last winter was an incredibly mild winter, and it just messed up all the wildflowers and trees. They didn't really know that they went through the winter. They were starting to flower at funny times, so it's really good to get a nice cold winter to kind of let nature know everything is still working to its normal pattern.